Moving to South America, in a dramatic escalation of tensions with Venezuela, the Trump administration plans to seize a second aircraft belonging to Nicolas Maduro. The sleek Dassault Falcon 200 is parked in the Dominican Republic and has been grounded because of Washington sanctions.
No, we want to do something with Venezuela. I've been a very big opponent of Venezuela and Maduro. They've treated us not so good, but they've treated, more importantly, the Venezuelan people very badly. We have a tremendous Venezuelan population. I got 92% of the vote, the Venezuelan vote. Now we want to see what we can do to get people back in their homeland safe and free.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio is expected to announce the seizure in Santo Domingo later today, which is the final stop of his whirlwind five-nation tour of Central America. Now, according to U.S. officials and documents from the State Department, the jet is more than just a luxury ride. In fact, it's ferried the Venezuelan president and his top brass to places like Russia, Turkey, Greece, and Cuba. And these trips blatantly violated sanctions meant to isolate the Venezuelan leader's regime. But capturing Maduro's presidential plane hasn't been so simple. In fact, the operation required the Secretary of State to greenlight foreign aid worth $230,000 for the Dominican Republic to the Dominican Republic as the aircraft storage and maintenance fees continue to increase. Meanwhile, this is not the first time that Maduro's air fleet has in fact been clipped. Back in September of 2024, then President Joe Biden ordered the seizure of Maduro's presidential jet worth $13 million that was also nabbed in the Dominican Republic.
Dominican Foreign Ministry received a request for a Dassault Falcon 900X plane to be halted so U.S. authorities could register evidence and objects related to activities linked to fraud, objects smuggled for illegal activities, and money laundering. All of this was done within the framework of a criminal investigation carried out by the U.S. Justice Department.
But the jet seizure is only part of Secretary Rubio's broader mission across Central America. The Secretary's tours also saw him wading into one of South America's most heated territorial disputes, the battle over the Essequibo region between Venezuela and Guyana. In fact, just last month, Secretary Rubio reaffirmed America's unwavering support for Guyana's claim over Essequibo, an oil-rich region that Venezuela has eyed for decades. And Maduro's foreign minister wasted no time in firing back, branding Secretary Rubio an enemy of Venezuela and accusing him of meddling in the country's sovereignty.
Rubio seeks to support the fantasies of the Guyanese government, which aims to strip us of the historic rights bequeathed to us by our liberators and which are an inalienable part of our sovereignty. The only legitimate and valid path to resolving the territorial controversy over the Guyana Essequibo is through compliance with the 1966 Geneva Agreement.
So as Secretary Rubio wraps up his tour, the message from Washington is clear. The U.S. is tightening the screws on Maduro's regime, one jet and one diplomatic maneuver at a time.